Great Britain with its traditional mix of mud, rain and fog. For the world's best drivers, it's a battle for survival against the elements. But Rally GB has changed, moving up the calendar from the dark days of November to the unpredictable weather of mid-September, and so presenting the drivers with a whole new set of challenges. Yes, we're in Wales. It's a long one with over 180 kilometres of competitive driving on stages lined with overgrown trees, bushes and logs. It's a tough start with the final two stages in front of huge crowds in the Walters Arena. History states that Rally GB is a tough one. Just ask Marcus Gronholm back in 2002. Colin McRae also felt the bite. As for Francois Delacourt, he blamed the co-driver. Trotard means too late. Carlos Sainz, what drama it was for him. World Championship title evaporating just 500 metres short of the finish in 1998. Subaru have won 7 out of the last 10 events. Petter Solberg is chasing a hat-trick.
I think the tire choice will be a little bit crucial, a little bit difficult, because if it's rain a little bit, if it's drying, but I think if you can get it right, it could be a very good rally for us.
The man with more experience than anyone else in this field is Carlos Sainz. He agrees that the move to September brings its own problems.
It was raining in the morning, and actually when you enter the stage, the view, it is exactly the same than November last year. In the other hand, in the afternoon, it was drying up quite quickly, and the stages were much drier. So it's not easy to know what are we going to find.
And the man they all have to catch is runaway championship leader Sebastian Loeb.
I know that I have a big lead, but I know that it's not finished and that everything can happen because we have 5 races to go, and in these 5 races we can lose everything.
Uncertainty surrounds Ford's participation in World Rally next year. Meanwhile, Marco Martin has to concentrate on the championship, and that's a difficult task. Skoda are back and keen to impress after their points finishes in both Finland and Germany. So Sebastian Loeb holds that impressive 30-point lead over Petter Solberg, with Marco Martin a point behind in third. With only 5 events to go, can anyone overhaul the Frenchman? Yes, it's a similar story in the Manufacturers' Championship, where Citroën hold a 35-point lead over Ford. Our defending champion Petter Solberg got a warm reception from the fans at the official start in Cardiff. Then it was on to the spectacular friendly super special, which was won by Francois Duval in his 4th focus.
Sur gauche 60 cordes, tenir. Sur arrivée à fond.
Early Friday morning, and the unpredictable British weather strikes again. After all the talk of a fast, dry rally, the rain arrives, and suddenly the drivers are facing traditional Rally GB conditions. As championship leader Sebastian Loeb is first on the road with the task of sweeping the line clear. Well, this is normally a disadvantage, but the heavy overnight rain has compacted the surface, giving him a clear run. The Frenchman is also fortunate that he's just ahead of a blanket of thick fog that is sweeping across the Welsh countryside. He takes full advantage, posting a very fast time indeed.
Sur droite 10, 80 mètres, droite 120, long tard.
Great stuff, but it's not such good news for Petter Solberg. He's been engulfed by the fog and struggles where Loeb flew. The Norwegian knows he has to win not just this event, but probably every rally from here on in if he's to retain his world title. Won Rally Japan 2 weeks ago and is chasing a hat-trick of wins here in Wales. Subaru have a great record on this event, and the Norwegian is the favourite with the bookies. But the conditions have scuppered his start, and look how much slower he is than Loeb. Unbelievable, almost 15 seconds down. Realistically, Marco Martin is the only other driver who can catch Loeb. Yes, he had a good start to the year, winning it in Mexico back in March, but in a mid-season slump, 3 retirements, it's seen him struggle to pick up points. It's also an uncertain time for the Ford team, with no one sure if they're going to be competing at this level next year. Martin is driving on the limit here and just manages to control the focus as it careers down the hill. And if anyone doubted his commitment, then just see that. Stage 3, another get-out-of-jail-free card has gone. Carlos Sainz wasn't happy with the setup of his car in Japan, and he's made changes to his suspension here in Wales. The Spaniard has won this event twice, but it's not an encouraging start for him. His changes, I should say, haven't worked, and he's 30 seconds slower than his teammate Sebastian Loeb. Marcus Grönholm will be just hoping that his 307 manages to last the distance. Peugeot have had real problems with their gearbox, and it cost the team dearly this season. They failed to challenge in either the Drivers' or the Manufacturers' Championship. Grönholm won here 3 years ago, and as long as the car doesn't let him down, he certainly has the speed and the skill to do it again. It's a decent start for the Finn. He's second quickest on both of these opening stages. Teammate Ari Rovanpera's best finish in this event is second, and he too will be banking on improved reliability after the 307's gearbox let him down badly in the opening stage in Japan. Francois Deval has been released by Ford as they ponder their future in the sport. He's had a good season, frequently picking up points where his senior colleague Marco Martin has failed to finish. And Skoda are back after missing Japan. It's been an encouraging season so far for the Czech team, and there's much speculation about whether that they will be returning to the championship in full-time basis next season. Tony Gardemeister shows how slippery the forest roads are. Going for a spin. So after the opening 2 stages, Sebastian Loeb is out in front with a useful lead over Marcus Grönholm. Petter Solberg is almost half a minute off the pace. Peugeot's Daniel Carlson has shredded his tyres, and the police want him to stop driving. Yes, it's not what the young Swede wanted on his first outing in the 307, but he does manage to persuade the police to give him an escort to service rather than a ticket.
Sorry, if your car is involved in some sort of accident and injures a member of the public or even yourselves.
Yeah, but we're driving now. We have no.
I am in neglect of my duty then, aren't I? Okay.
Daniel, it looks like you've just had a few words with the police. What was it all about?
He stopped me because he thought I had 2 bad tires. The car was acting very strange on the road, he thought, and then when he stopped and looked closer on the tires, he said, no way you can't continue, it's impossible. And then we had this, we talked about it, and we go through it for about 20 minutes, and then it come a chief policeman, and he was a little bit more understanding, so they escorted me to the service to change the type.
So he's still in the rally, has new tyres. There's much for the drivers to discuss. Rally leader Sebastian Loeb couldn't be happier with his start.
Sebastian, you've been very, very quick this morning.
Yes, this morning everything was okay. I think we had the right tire choice, and the car was going very well. I think also that to be first on the road in this rally was perhaps better than to be behind. Yes, the gap is interesting, but we have to see now at the second pass how it will go.
Third stage of the day, and the crowds are out in force despite the weather. Marcus Gronholm has proved all season that the Peugeot 307 is the fastest car in the championship, but a mixture of driving errors and unreliability has undermined his title challenge. Here, however, he's back on the pace and goes fastest so far on the stage. The Finn may not be able to win the championship himself, but he's determined to make sure the eventual winner works hard for the title. Peter Solberg is one of those drivers still in the hunt for the ultimate prize as he pushes the Subaru to the limit in search of a hat-trick of wins in Wales. He's certainly quick, but can he beat Gronholm's time?
35 right bus, into 2 left minus, tightens early, half long, opens 100.
The answer is no, 0.1 of a second slower.
Very slippery out there, incredible.
Sebastian Loeb has had a dream start. This stage, a repeat of the opening run. Loeb is only slightly slower than both Gronholm and Solberg, dropping just over 3 seconds. He's certainly not taking it easy.
It's a lot more slippery. I think we lost 40 seconds of our time of the first lap, so that's a lot. So we have to see. I think it's close with the other driver. We have to continue like this, but now it's very, very slippery.
Mikko Irvonen is struggling in the second Subaru. He's down in 8th and has problems with his engine overheating. Harry Rovanperä in the second Peugeot is also finding it hard going, down in 6th place. He's having a disappointing season, which hasn't been helped by a series of gearbox failures. He's under pressure from Francois Duval, as the Belgian has struggled to make an impact after winning a super special last night. Here he does enough to get past Rovanperä and take 6th place. And confirmation that the Welsh police did allow Daniel Carlson to continue. He's just outside the points in 9th. So after stage 4, Sebastian Loeb still leads, but the gap is down to just over 16 seconds, and confirmation that Duval has taken 6th from Rovanperä. Join us after the break and see if anyone can catch Sebastian Loeb. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Rally GB. So 3 stages left today and the rain has been unrelenting. Marco Martin has been driving on the limit all day. He's certainly determined to show that any uncertainty over the team's future isn't preventing him from going for the win. He's already had 2 narrow escapes, and here on stage 5 it's more of the same.
6 minus right slow over long crest, 50, braking, left tightness of 3 minus airy.
Impressive. Martin spins, but continues. The Estonian loses grip on the road and sends the focus into the scenery. Once again, he emerges with the car in one piece. Remarkable. Meanwhile, Ford have surprisingly announced that they are to pull Jaguar out of Formula One, but there's no announcement about the future involvement of World Rally. Teammate Francois Duval is ploughing on in 6th. If either of the 4 drivers finish this rally, then it'll be the 40th consecutive rally where Ford have collected manufacturers' points. It's an impressive record. Yes, Mark Higgins in action here. Even the test driver is getting it on. He's managed to work himself into 10th place.
Left 6 long, okay, then gate 90, right 2 nip. 90 to right 2 nip.
Sebastian Loeb appears to have eased off slightly as he's not as quick through this section, the repeat stage, as he was earlier in the day. The Frenchman has to balance pushing hard with staying error-free. After all, the real pressure to win is on his competitors. He rarely makes mistakes, and the Zara has shown throughout the season just how reliable it is. Marcus Gronholm continues to push the 307 as hard as he can. He loves the challenge of these fast gravel forest stages and has produced consistently quick times all day. It's not a surprise that he's one of the most popular drivers with the fans. Unusually, the Finn has been saying that he doesn't feel very confident today. Peter Solberg is also starting to get into his rhythm. He loves this rally. and has fond memories of being crowned world champion here last year. He's been a little slower than expected today, but here he's quick. And he chases the leader, Loeb, right down. Let's see if he can do enough to eat into the Frenchman's lead.
And 3 left long, opens long and tightens.
The answer is yes, 6.8 seconds quicker. Well, despite the fact that the rally has been moved forward to mid-September, with its generally milder conditions, the drivers still appear to be travelling at the same speed. If we compare Sebastian Loeb's time this year with last year on stage 5, you can see that the change in the calendar has not resulted in an increase in overall speed. So Loeb's lead is now under 15 seconds, and Petter Solberg closes the gap on Marcus Gronholm. Now only 20 seconds separate the top 3. Time then for service.
Marco, it sounds like you've had quite a morning.
Yes, a lot of exciting moments, but not so much speed, more moments. The worst one was in the last stage when they slid off the road on 6th gear and went off like 2 times after that they went in the same place, so it was like 3 times off the road and then ended back on the road, which was a bit of a surprise.
Petter, it actually sounds like classic Welsh conditions out there.
Yeah, it's like normal, no difference to last year, it's exactly the same.
Both you and Petter, you've got to get your foot down to catch Sebastian. He's really setting the pace.
Yeah, he was okay. He had a slight advantage to be first, to be honest. But then on the second run, we were on equal conditions, and okay, I hope we can catch him.
Stage 6 is the longest of the rally at over 32 kilometers and incorporates the purpose-built spectator arena called the Walters Arena. And Daniel Carlson's event for day is about to come to a climax. He's managed to prevent the police from ending his rally, but here he slides off and out of the event. Mikko Irvonen can't make any real impression on the leaderboard. He's had problems with his engine overheating, but it's proving it to be another uphill struggle for the young Finn, who's in his first year of WRC. He needs to start producing some results if he's to keep his place at Subaru next season. And things aren't going much better for Ari Rovanperä, and guess what? He's got a problem with the 307. He's lost his power steering. Look how he's struggling to keep the car on the roads as he tries to grip the slippy surface. Gearbox and power steering problems have dogged the 307 all season.
Pitkä oikeetäys pidä ja varo. Vasen eri. Asfalttisumppu sisältä 4.
Marcus Gronholm has had less mechanical problems than Rovanperä this year, but he won't be happy to hear of his teammates' difficulties. He isn't as quick through this stage as he would have hoped, and he will no doubt be praying that his gearbox and power steering holds up over the next 2 days.
Stage is clear for Marcus.
Sebastian Loeb knows he just has to avoid making any mistakes to keep himself firmly in the driving seat on course for his first ever World Championship. The conditions demand that he isn't too aggressive. Well, there's always a chance that he'll suffer the same fate as Carlson.
Sur bosse tout droit, sur attention 40 mètres, gauche 120 moins. Sur bosse, sur attention 50 mètres, droite 80 plus, ouvre et ferme 60.
The crowds have come out to see this new rally superstar. He really has proved that he is the complete rally driver, winning on snow, gravel and tarmac. All he has to do here is keep the Zara in contention for a podium finish.
Ouvre 130 moins long. 130 moins long sur droitier. Sur attention, gauche 80 et 3.
Marco Martin needs a lot more than that, and as we've seen already today, he's not holding back. The Focus hasn't had the reliability problems that it experienced last season, but the wins just haven't come for the team despite a marvellous 1-2 in Mexico. Ford are second in the manufacturers' race behind Citroën, and so even if the title is beyond Martin, those manufacturers' points are vital. Petter Solberg is picking up his pace. He was firm favourite with the bookies to win here, and he's starting to justify that tag. After a rather timid start, he's now imposing himself on the leaderboard. Here he wins the stage, snatching second place as he does so.
Opens up long cut, keep in 40. Early shot for right bus to keep right to the jump. 20, 2 left, Titans minus. Titans 20 jump, and like a 3 right, Titans cut 1 plus Titans.
Petter, you were in third, 4.2 behind Marcus. How was it?
Well, it worked actually very well. The only thing I have a half spin in one corner almost, but no problem actually.
So only one stage to go today, and Sebastian Loeb is still out in front. And the lead is now down to just 12 seconds, and confirmation that Petter Solberg has moved above Gronholm into second. Join us after the break to see if Petter Solberg can catch Loeb. Welcome back to Rally GB. Sebastian Loeb leads after 6 stages. The Citroën mechanics doing their bit to help the Frenchman keep Petter Solberg at bay.
Sebastian, Petter's starting to put a bit of pressure on you.
Yes, he's coming back. I think that the conditions are not always the same this morning, and sometimes I think he has a bit an advantage with his car, with his tire. Sometimes it's me, and but now it's very close.
Petter, you're really starting to turn up the heat on Sebastian Loeb now.
Yeah, it's good. That was the plan, and after we got the suspension sorted this morning, everything has been working very well.
You seem full of confidence.
Yeah, it feels very good. Feels very good.
Same as the last 2 years?
Yeah.
It's a bit early to talk about that sort of thing.
Really, but things is going very well.
Historically, the British fans have always turned out in large numbers here. Indeed, the popularity and profile of this event is such that the Welsh Assembly decided to sponsor the rally, the only WRC calendar financially backed by a government.
Well, when the opportunity came up to acquire the sponsorship of what was the British leg of the World Rally Championship, I instructed my officials under WDA to go out and seriously negotiate, because we saw this as a way of promoting Wales and showing Wales as a great showcase in terms of engineering, industry, motorsport and tourism.
Stage 7 and the final run of the day. Harry Rovanperä has had a lot of disastrous time, and here things go from bad to worse as he hit a rock and breaks his gearbox. He's stuck in second gear for the rest of the stage and hemorrhages time as a result, falling to 8th overall. Marcus Gronholm is battling his way to the finish. He's been quick, but not his usual confident self. He's also in the wars, clipping a stray rock, but he still puts in a good time. It's been a grueling day for the Finn, though. Petter Solberg's times and performance have improved as the day has gone on. Now he's pushing for the lead. He's managed to get past Gronholm and has Sebastian Loeb firmly in his sights. He's quick through this stage, closing the gap on the Frenchman.
6 right plus to keep right to the crest, opens 50. 6 left plus, Titans early, opens 120.
Sebastian Loeb will be delighted with his day's work. He's surprised many by pushing as hard as he has, winning the opening 2 stages of the day. He goes into day 2 with Petter Solberg breathing down his neck, but secure in the knowledge that even if he loses the lead, he'll still be in a very strong position in the championship. So at the end of day 1, it's tied at the top with under 16 seconds separating the top 3. And look at Harry Rovanperä, he's almost 5 minutes adrift in 8th. Meanwhile, Skoda will be pleased that 2 of their drivers are still very much in this rally.
You've got a very big lead in the World Rally Championship now. Is it sensible to push this hard?
The problem is that the rally is long, and I have a good rhythm. Sure, sometimes it's a bit limit, but I cannot slow down immediately. And if you start to brake early everywhere, because it can be perhaps slippery, you never finish. So I have a good rhythm. I feel well in the car like this, so I drive on my rhythm.
Can you push Sebastian a little bit harder tomorrow and really take that perhaps extra edge and get the first place?
Yeah, I haven't broken one single bumper today, so of course we can push much harder, and we will have a little bit better tire choice than we had the last round today. But we don't have any other choices.
The first stages in the morning was not so good. Then it has been quite okay, but I couldn't really catch Loeb, and Solberg was a little bit quicker. But we are still there fighting, so let's see.
So join us tomorrow and see if Peder Solberg can be caught. And remember, you can get all the latest rally news on WRC.com. From me, Carlton Kirby, thanks for your company. See you throughout the weekend, I hope. Bye-bye.